Awesome. Well, here we are live again. My name is Steve Stump, and you're listening to the Insurance Brew Crew. Well, what is the Insurance Brew Crew? Well, it's where experts come and talk about all things insured. And today, we're talking about health because that is probably one of the most important things in our lives that we insure. And not just health, but life as well. And I'm really, really excited to have Nadia Touch on the show today with Coaching by Nadia. Nadia, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Steve.
Awesome. Well, Nadia, some of the audience might know who you are, others might not. So take a minute to share your story. It's really fascinating. If you go all the way back to your childhood, I think that's even more fascinating, but share your story.
Okay, back to childhood. So who I am not from the United States. You can hear my accent. And in fact, my story started when I was 11, I believe, the first time. I don't know, Steve, if you've heard that. One of the parents at school, one of my friend's parents, she approached me and she said, "You look so thin that you look sick. What's wrong with you?" Something like that. And I ran to my mom crying, and I remember, in fact, I forgot that until I started practicing wellness as my career. And through my own personal development, I remember that story. And I believe what I made as a decision that day or eventually is really doesn't matter how you look, as long as you're healthy and vital. And so back forward, of course, there's other accidents, but back forward, when I moved to the United States, had my young family, that's where I really found like how something is not right. I'm in Dallas, it's warm, and I'm from Russia, it's cold. Why am I getting sick all the time? In fact, I believe it was my very first business that I started and still functioning. I'm so proud that Russian School in Allen here. But we had our first grand opening, the first classes, and I'm in bed. And I have to call my business partner. And I said, "Can you please do it for me?" And I remember crying that day. It's my baby, you know, when you work on something so hard and your health is like, no. It was really devastating for me. And I remember around those days, I made a decision. I got to figure out how I can stay healthy and vital and not deal with something that is not necessary to be in my life. So I went on the journey of finding, well, psychology is my major. So mindset was the first thing. I usually say, how do I fix this between my ears?
Right.
But it's also, if you've heard, we are what we eat. So what I need to do to feel the way I want to feel or heal through foods and fitness. In fact, fitness, yes, I'm a fitness trainer, but it's not about the fitness or exercise. It's about choosing movement, because movement is life. So eventually, throughout the years of my, I've been in wellness for 12 years, I created, I guess through their trial and error successes and failures, the package is called the Ultimate Transformation. It's really not a package, it's the way of living. What we already eat, what we already do for movement, and the thoughts we are already having. It's about finding that balance in the way I take care of myself in my daily life, so I can actually be stronger in my mind, in my body, and have the life that I want and the body.
Right. Oh, and I like the way you said, it starts up here first. What's between the ears, and do I have that right? I think you said something interesting there. It's about what you eat, it's about what you think, but then it's about your movement. And so many people get hung up on, oh, I've got to exercise. And I know you don't necessarily think about it as exercise. It's movement and getting the body moving, because like you said, movement is life. To say more about movement versus exercise and how people can think about that differently.
So I'm even going to bring a little more into it. Let's also put nutrition in it. Why not? So we have this thought that we have to exercise and eat healthy, right? But in fact, I just heard it recently. So you're one of my very new people who hear this. So you've heard the word transformation, right? What is transformation? What do you think? What is one word that comes to you? No right or wrong, whatever word comes.
Like big change.
Change. So think about change. Does my mind like change? Who likes change? Change is challenge. Change is something we don't want. So here's what really transformation is about. It's not the change, it's the choice.
Mm.
So when we talk about movement, when we talk about foods, guess what we want to talk about? Choices. Now, when I say, oh, I have a choice, what I can do to move, here's what I say when I say choices. I call them menus. I love this word menu. It's almost like I'm picking up the menu in the restaurant. So I have 5 minutes. What can I do to move for 5 minutes? It's outside beautiful walk. Or do I like jumping jacks? 5 minutes, good luck with that. Or do I want to do chair squats up and down? Or go for a bike for 5 minutes full force. When you have a menu of options, the change becomes a fun choice.
Yeah, I like that. And it's simpler too, because you got that menu right in front of you in your head or on your phone, wherever, and you just, I got time. What am I going to choose off my menu? I like that. Very cool.
I can talk for hours, but you can lead me with what's next.
Well, thanks for being on. You and I have talked about in the past those choices we make and the ramifications it can have in our future life and in the years down the road. You know, we're talking 20, 30, 40 years down the road when we're all older. Talk about how those choices can have that impact in our lives at that point.
Okay, I apologize if I start crying because it's a really a sensitive subject right now. Since you and I actually saw each other last time, somebody passed away last week. And so imagine we have people in our life or ourselves, and we know we need to do some things to become healthier, and we don't, and we wait, and we wait. And I hear in my career, don't wait to talk to someone because it might be too late.
Yeah.
Guess what happened? It was too late. I had 12, Steve, 12 years of choices to talk to the gentleman, and I never did. Guess what I was saying in my head? Maybe next time. Maybe next time. So when we have someone in our life and we maybe give up, I actually hear this quite often. I just gave up on my dad or my wife. They're not listening to me. But one of my clients, it was quite a while ago, she says, Nadia, I want to give myself a birthday gift. Guess what her birthday gift to herself was? I want to lose another 60 pounds. She did. Overall, she lost 108 pounds. And her family has a history of obesity and lung condition. And here we've got COVID.
Yeah.
Guess what happens in this last few months? Deaths in her family, multiple. She was sick for 2 months and she recovered. She was the sickest person I've heard. For 2 months, she said, I could not even get off the bed. How sick she was. But I actually will call she survived. She's vital, she's healthy, maybe you even seen her in the meetings. But even if not to put the price on health, because this is priceless, it's honestly live, do not live. And in fact, that's what I've been facing last week and last weekend, deaths, because this unfortunately last few months takes people who are obese and who have the tendency to, the body gives in because it cannot fight. Sometimes we fight two, in fact, diseases, cancer and COVID, and the body just cannot handle it much. So Those are really heavy examples. In fact, I just spoke very similar. How do I talk to loved one? How do I find the right words? And the right words is really based on love and care. No matter what we say, with love and care. On a more cheerful note, I've heard that too, Nadia. My PT just told me I don't need a knee replacement anymore.
Wow.
Fitness. In fact, just somebody recently, it's the same thing. I don't want to have a knee replacement. And my PT told me I have to exercise. So imagine, why would I spend or put this money into knee replacement when I can actually invest the money in my strong body, so I
Right.
can live healthier, and other medications, and you know, right? The sicker person is, the higher health insurance is. It's just point after point after point. 95% is actually preventable.
Yeah.
Diabetes, blood pressure. In fact, one of my clients just last Friday brought us the news. Her blood pressure is back to normal. Incredible. And in fact, she's been coaching with me for a year. But it's focusing on those mindful actions. What do I do to help my body move? Movement is just life. You've got to deliver this oxygen, blood flow. You've got to help your body be vital and active. It's not about exercising. It's about giving your body what the body needs, just like feeding your body. In fact, I was going to say feeding. It's not just eating, it's feed your body for energy. Feed your body. It's like vehicle. If you want to drive to a different state, are you going to put a crappy fuel in your vehicle? Probably not. You want to have your vehicle pretty vital.
Right. And some people take better care of the cars than they do their body with what they fuel their body with versus their car. But it's a great point about your one client realized I can take that money that I would have paid for a knee replacement surgery and invest it in my life, and those paybacks are huge over the life of that person. I have a friend. He's a personal trainer, and personal trainers, if those that don't know in the audience, they work hard. They're up like at 4 o'clock in the morning, getting the place ready, getting the gym ready. Clients come in and they might get a few hours before lunch and then a few hours before the evening. But he was telling me on a early morning trip, he realized something that he had driven by lots and lots of times. He drove by a kidney dialysis center. Now he drives by this thing every morning, but that one morning he happened to take notice of the number of cars that were there at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And he realized those individuals made a decision sometime in their early life not invest in themselves, and now they're in this situation where they're getting up when most of everyone else is just waking up or still asleep, maybe got an hour or two left. And it clicked with him then. Those choices we make in our lives really have that impact in our future.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Last weekend, actually 2 weekends ago, I taught the workshop on best tips to improve your time management. Now, as you're saying, it's our choice to what we do. Are we spending our time or investing our time?
Right.
Are we spending our money or investing our money? It's really about conscious decision of investment. What makes sense to me a long term?
Right. And when you think about it that way, you can think about the payback it's going to have when you invest that time.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say are maybe the 3 biggest obstacles that people have when it comes to wellness and improving the mind and the body?
What do you think? We just talked about that actually just a second ago. Time.
I don't have time, right? Number 1.
I don't have time. I can't put anything else on my plate. It's still time. Maybe later after holidays, still time. I'm too busy. Not right now, not the best time. It's all about time. The other obstacle is money. And I want to say, if there's not a commitment, I'm going to find an excuse that it's too expensive or something else, so I need to put money somewhere else. And it's
And when you say the commitment, do you mean the commitment to yourself?
So commitment is, it's a good question, thank you. I normally, and I step aside, and sometimes I would say, if the time or money is not an obstacle, on a scale from 1 to 10, how committed are you to start now? What I'm looking for is actually all that time and money is not important. What's important is how committed is the person. What I'm looking for, commitment of in being intentional, that's around the mindset, I would say, commitment of the food choices. And I'm listening when we have our initial conversation. I'm listening. Is there commitment already? Because there are certain ways we talk, what we say. Am I committed to find the ways to move? And if the commitment is there, so when I ask that question, if you're about 70 plus, great. If it's under 70, and still it's like, well, why is it 80? What's the other 20? And sometimes 20 becomes, it's just the wrong time. So for me, if I'm committed, then the rest I will find a way. If I'm committed, there is a way to find something for $20, right? It doesn't matter. As long as I'm committed, I find a way to get those things going.
Right, right.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. And that commitment, what I've heard, see if I can get it right. It's you are willing to endure that change because where you're at, there's more pain than there's more pain now than the pain you will experience in that change. And that's, we call that rock bottom or other things, other terms like that. But that's when someone in their life decides, I'm committed. I'm going to make a difference in my health and in my wellness.
Might be the third obstacle. I don't hear this often anymore. I used to hear this more often. That is interesting. Is, I got to talk to my husband. So we call it in our coaching realm is the human shield. I'm sorry if somebody doesn't like what I'm saying. I'm not sorry. Is again, it's about me. What does it have to do with my husband? It actually might, if we create a decision together, great. And if I say that in order to get away from my coach, this is too much, we call it critter brain, I'm just getting a little too scared, and I know it might be good for me, but I'm just trying to run away and create a shield, and this is what's on my mind. I'm going to talk to my husband.
Right.
And normally what I say is, that is it. But in fact, what I can ask, if I say, okay, I got to talk to my husband, I can ask myself, okay, so when I talk to my husband, what do I think he's going to say?
Yeah.
He's going to say, wow, I'm so glad you're deciding the exercise of this program is good for you. Do it. So can you hear there's not like a time or money? It's about why and what am I going to get out based on the program.
Right. Well, I've heard that excuse before in other realms as well. I've got to talk to the spouse, I've got to talk to the husband, but the human shield, I've never heard it that way before, but it's a way to, I guess, deflect responsibility for the decision and say, oh, my husband, my wife won't let me do it, versus it's really the person. So you are a health and wellness coach. Coaching by Nadia is where people can find you, but tell the audience more about Coaching by Nadia and what you do as their health and wellness coach.
Thank you very much. Yes, in fact, I can continue. I often teach my beginner clients, because this is really important before I start talking about Coaching by Nadia, is to catch my thinking, a part of mindset. Sometimes we say, oh, mindset is not that important for me, or I hear, well, I've done it in the past, so I'm good. Just the fact that we are saying that, but There are actually kind of three elements of my thinking here. This is so crucially important when I'm facing decisions or choices or change. So the number one is emotions. So think about how it's all really about what's here, like our brain, right? Those neurons firing, emotions show up. I need that. And the next thing shows up is feelings. Okay, I deserve it. I've got to take care of myself. So all this feelings, somewhat even connected with love and belonging. But the
Well,
third,
that I want to talk about deserve, because that's really important. A lot of people feel like they don't deserve it, and so I bet that's really something you have to help them with, to realize that, yeah, you do deserve better health and wellness.
and when this shows up, I deserve it, but I don't deserve it. It's really great to work with someone who can help you. But here's the third piece of that. Guess what might happen when this shows up, deserve, don't deserve? I'm going to justify thinking. My creative part of the human brain is going to say, well, it's too expensive because I've never gave myself a gift like that. I know I deserve, but it's too expensive, not a good time, and all those justifications show up. Oh, I have to talk to my husband. Oh, it's all those legitimate excuses to be
Right.
gift ourselves. And when I catch myself, this is what I'm doing because it's uncomfortable and I'm doing this usual pattern, I can say, well, I deserve it. And no matter what other people say, do, either my own brain, because that's what it's used to, I'm going to say, yes, it's expensive, but it's worth it. Long term, my body is going to be healthier. I'm going to be taking care of myself. I'm going to find a way. If I need to talk to my agent, my coach, and figure out my budget, I'm going to sit down, figure out my budget. My creator brain, number one, is not going to like it. My other part of the creator brain is going to be feeling very uncomfortable and maybe even angry at the person I'm talking to for advice. But I know I deserve it. I've got to walk through it so I can find myself on the other side and say, wow, that was worth it.
Right.
That's why accountability is so crucially important. Someone who knows, actually, who has the, not knows, we all know, but someone who can take your hand and walk with you. I'm the coach not because I know more, maybe, but I'm the coach because I know how to take the hand and walk with you through that process. You know your process, you take your clients and you walk them through the process, explaining one step at a time. So if you say something else, I'll stop, or I can switch to how I do that.
Well, so if someone wanted to take advantage of your three-prong approach, how would they get in contact with you, and what would their experience be working with you?
Right. So, for example, if they, and I'm gonna glance down because so I don't rail off for an hour. If they say, okay, I know I need to get healthy and I know I'm busy, my business, my family, and all that, but I'm almost like the final puzzle. I got to figure out how to take care of myself. I feel weak, aches and pains. I don't have any energy. I don't sleep well. I just want to feel better. I want to feel stronger. Maybe I'll lose some pounds. In fact, weight loss is not a number one goal for most of us. We just want to feel better and more and healthier. And so what we work is, if it is the ultimate transformation, basically what it is, it's working on those three pillars: the nutrition, the fitness, the mindset. And mindset is really like an engine that helps me be accountable in my nutrition with mindful choices. What I eat is really not about changing your diet. It's about being mindful to starting with what am I already eating? How is my body responding? With movement, again, it's not about here's your program, put it on. It's about knowing what you've done in the past, what are your goals, what your body cannot do. I love focusing on functional movement and corrective exercise. So functional is what helps you be confident in everyday. Corrective exercise helping you realign your body. So with mindset, it's really consciously making those, remember the choices, one step at a time. So the way it looks like, we work if it's fitness. In fact, I mentioned to you, I have private groups and on demand. So the fitness, you have to allow your body move a little more than once a week. So it can be 2, 3 times a week or even unlimited participation, depending what level. With coaching, it's usually once a week, plenty to start with. And normally 3 weeks into is just the way our brain is designed. We're all about building habits. Yeah, we can break the old ones, but let's start about what new habits do I want to build and practice by doing actions. You only can change your habit by doing the actions of the new one that you want to build. 6 weeks into, you start noticing my body kind of likes it.
Right.
So I don't like exercise, but I'm looking forward to it. That's what I hear. But 3 months is actually the minimum when you say, well, wow, let's not talk about water anymore. I got it. But you are already consciously using that habit. You build a new habit. 6 months actually where it's becoming a part of who you are and your identity. And of course, we can work through beliefs and
Right.
all the way went back to childhood if necessary, because that's where we build all those patterns.
Yeah, that's childhood's where we all build our. I'll say we build our baggage. We pack our bags and we carry our baggage for the rest of our life. So sometimes we've got to unpack it in our adulthood. Awesome,
Like,
awesome. And you do everything virtually, or is it face to face?
so it's interesting. Thank you for this question. This was my ultimate goal anyway, to create a virtual business. And in fact, what I realized through this past months, because I do work with busy professionals, and my goal is to build those habits so they can actually use them continuously, ongoingly as a what is the word I'm looking for? Sustainable habits.
Right.
And virtual is actually the way. Let's find what you have at home. I don't know if you see, but I got a broom on this side of the room because we were focusing on opening the body with what we've got. We all have brooms, to clean the floor.
Yeah, right.
So it's not going somewhere, buying a new program, taking you extra time. It's through what you already have. That's why virtual is actually convenient.
Oh yeah. Well, and then you can be creative with them and what's in their home and teach them. You don't need fancy equipment. Everything you need for movement can be there in your home. Fantastic. Oh, last part. How would people find coaching by Nadia?
You just said that, coaching by Nadia. It's everywhere.com. And so Steve, I mentioned that I have a gift for listeners. I'm not sure how you would like me to. It's a free session that is normally a session for fee, but I'd like to gift it to listeners. So,
Well, how would you like, so we can do something in the comments of the live? How would you like them to be able to be selected for the free session?
okay, so and you can help me. It's either they can send me an email or go through my website, coachingbynadia.com, and the link will be talk to me. And use the form on the page and just email me, I'd like a free session. And I send them the coupon and they can redeem the coupon for a free session. So in that session, if you want to find balance, stronger body, aches and pains, you want more energy, or you just want to refresh what you've been doing and pick my brain. So the session will have three segments. We're going to have a conversation, we're going to have some kind of educational or transformational or fitness material, and then at the end we will actually have a plan. Here's what I got to do, 1, 2, 3. Maybe we can talk about working together or not, but my goal is for you to have this as a standalone, transformational, deep dive session so you have a plan of what's next.
Awesome. Fantastic gift. So I will put that in the comments with some direction of going to your website and putting in the request on the form. And then they can reference this live show to know that that's how they heard about it, of course.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you, Steve.
Well, cool. Fantastic. Well, Nadia, this has been fantastic and amazing that you were able to join me. Our health is so important. Me being in the health insurance space, I do see it all the time. if you don't take care of yourself, health insurance can be dramatically more expensive. And then we talked about a lot of the other, just not just economic savings, but the life experiences you can have when you can take care of yourself and play with the kiddos, play with the grandkids, and experience life at those older ages. Thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. Bye-bye. Cool. Well, that's it. I'm going to hit turn off the live.
All right. We did it.